Hey, what's up my fellow Twisters? Welcome back to another episode of our Let's Build series, where we are creating a redstone base on Mars. You guys give me the ideas and I build it. Now the last episode in the series didn't do very well, and that's kind of discouraging because I know it's going to take a lot of episodes to finish all of these builds. I estimate about 20 to 30 episodes, which is a lot, and it's really hard to be making these videos if not a lot of people are supporting it. So if you guys would do me a favor, please just smack the like button. It only takes a second, as well as leave a comment down below and just say anything random. Say what is your favorite part of the map, or what's your favorite part of the series, or just some words of encouragement, because it would really help when I see that type of support. I love, feeding that and giving you guys what you want. So yeah, it would definitely help, and I would really appreciate it. But anyways, guys, let's go ahead and continue with this episode. Now in this episode, we're going to work on the inside a bit. I'm going to make a laboratory under my main house in the middle, and then add in some awesome redstone to it, like redstone lighting, of course, a doorway, some of our decontamination suits to work in the laboratory, and also some passcode locks for our elevator and our deep science area at the bottom. So the first thing I want to do is go ahead and carve out an area on this side and have a staircase spiraling down over some sort of garden that will then come into a smaller room. So obviously I need to do a lot of restructuring in this area, so I will do all of that. I'll come back and I'll show you guys the build, and then I will start building up all of the other things. So here's my bottom area. As you can see, I basically replaced everything with quartz, and I also smoothed out the area. Now we're going to build our staircase, which is going to lead from the first hidden staircase. As you can see, 3 blocks forward, we're now going to grab ourselves some stone slabs, place it upside down right over here, extend it by 2 on this side, and then one more layer over here to make a 2x3 step. Now we're going to go down right over here, place down some other upside down slabs in a 2x3 pattern to create another step. As you can see, we have a space in between these to create a sort of modern look. Alright, so we're going to do this again, but this time, since it's a corner, we're going to make a 3x3 upside down stone slab area to kind of signify a corner, and then come down over here, add in another step, add in another step over here, and then there's going to be one more step right at the bottom. Alright, so there we go. That is our staircase. Now to add in some detail, we're going to add a slab right at the back, build it up by 1, and do this on all of the different stairs in order to connect them up together. This is of course going to make it look a bit better and not so as it's floating in air. Alright, so the next thing we want to do is grab ourselves some black stained glass panes and place it down right in these positions, and they're basically going to be a barrier on our staircase. Now the next thing I want to do is go ahead and destroy some blocks on this side, since we do have this gigantic block over here, and to add in some detail, I'm going to add in a sort of garden, and we're going to do this by using some coarse dirt. I'm going to grab that coarse dirt, place it in these positions right over there, 1 block into the area, and then place down some redstone lamps right above it in order to light that up. Then I want to grab myself some ferns, as well as some dandelions, and maybe some grass to decorate this, and maybe a blue. I'm not really sure how to say this, but let's go ahead and just place that down. We have grass, then a dandelion, and then a fern, and we're also missing one more, so let's just go ahead and grab ourselves a blue orchid. And as you can see, that is going to be our small little decoration. It adds in some detail, and we'll definitely improve on it in just a bit. Alright, so the next thing I want to do is go ahead and grab myself some more coarse dirt, as well as regular dirt, come down to the bottom over here, and make a small garden. So what I want to do is basically just knock off some blocks. I did clear out the bottom so we could add in some redstone lighting to the floor. So first things first, let's go ahead and just replace this area with some coarse dirt. There we go. Let's destroy all of these blocks, and we could also place down some redstone lighting in here if we so choose, but for now, that is our coarse dirt. We're going to replace some of our coarse dirt with regular dirt and just mix it in to make it look a bit different. And maybe we can also grab ourselves some Pudzul. I think that might look a bit interesting. So let's place down some Pudzul over here, there, and just mix it up a bit. That way it just looks a bit better, because of course adding in detail makes the map a whole lot better in the long run. Alright, so I think that is okay. Now, the next thing we need to do is place down some floral decorations on top of this. I might add in some more ferns as well as grass and random flowers. But I'm going to mess around with that and I'll be back and I'll show you guys what I did. So there we go, I did extend the area and I also added in some oak leaves to be bushes. And I dug down a few blocks over here in order to add in a waterfall, so let's just go ahead and do that. And it will fall straight down into this area. And the reason why I placed down some glass panes over here is to just contain the water. At the moment, I really don't know what block to add there for decoration, but I will figure that out and then I'll show you guys a bit later. But that is basically my whole idea for this bottom section, of course. Since there is like a lab on this side, it's kind of weird to have an indoor garden. So what we're going to do is kind of like block off this area by extending the blocks up by 2 and also filling out this area so it's smooth and lined up with the wall. Alright, so that is pretty much going to be this side. I'm not really sure what else I should add besides a door, of course. So let's just go ahead and just make this opening a bit smaller. That way we could add in a cool looking door. Now obviously this is not going to be a redstone door or anything. It's just going to be a regular 2x3 door, which is not even going to be closed. It's just there. It's existing. So there we go. I decorated the area and I basically just added in a pattern of chiseled quartz, as you can see, as well as some quartz stairs. And I think I am overusing quartz. I need to like ban myself from using these types of blocks because it doesn't look that good. I mean, it looks okay. Tell me what you guys think in the comment section down below. But basically, guys, I added in some redstone lamps under our carpet over here, as well as some redstone lamps in the ceiling, and we're going to basically connect this up all together using one switch. And to do this, I want to simply come below here, grab ourselves some blocks and connect them all up together, place down some redstone torches on top of these to activate our redstone lamps. And now we need to place down some blocks over here. And then we need to have some redstone repeaters going into these blocks, of course, to invert them. So let's just go ahead and place one over here, one over there, and one over there. Place down a block over here with a redstone torch on the face of that. That way it's inverted and we have all of the lamps now off. And we just connect up some redstone to this as well. As you can see, they're now all off. And basically I dug out a gigantic area which is just going to lead up to the different levels. And of course we just need to spiral staircase this up. So let's just go ahead and maybe do one over here, there, and up there. Then one up here, and then one up there, and then one up here until we get to the top. As you can see, then we maybe want to do one on this side, then one on this side. And of course we'll need to terraform a bit because we're going above our limits. I mean, the entire environment outside will look a bit weird, but we could definitely fix this. We need to place down some redstone repeaters over here. That way we can cover up these blocks instead of placing down redstone directly on top. And we place down redstone all along these blocks. Right over here, not actually those, over here. Or let's actually bring this down all along these blocks and all the way till we get to the bottom. Alright, so let's just go ahead and do this. And then we place down, I believe, some redstone dust on top of that. It should invert that torch, so let's go ahead and try this. Boom, there we go. Alright, so when you turn these on, these turn on as well. Okay, so let's go back over here. And then place down some redstone dust there, and then all along the top of these blocks, and boom! That is basically our redstone connection, and now we could go ahead and add in our input signal somewhere. I think my input signal is going to be somewhere in the room, but let's just go ahead and test this out. If I simply flick that lever, it will turn on the lights in the floor, as well as this part, and then this part up here. Of course, there's one missing, but we could definitely fix that. Let's just go back over there and place down a bit of redstone dust right there. Alright, there we go. So I will add in that input switch on my own time, but now let's go ahead and work on adding in a redstone door to this part, as well as adding in all of our different armor cases. So let's go ahead and create our gate. What we need to do is place down 4 obsidian blocks right over here. Diagonal to that, we place down 3 iron blocks, and then right next to that again, we place down 3 iron blocks, and finally 4 obsidian blocks right at the end. head and connect up the tops, and that's going to be our gate for the moment. We will be adding in more decoration in the future, but we're going to change these iron blocks into our slime block doors, and to do this we're going to use this mechanism, which basically allows us to stick blocks to the face of our slime blocks and then send it into the ground. As you guys can see, there is a way to see the slime blocks once it is built, so I will be addressing this issue as we go on. Now what we need to do is basically destroy these 2 blocks in the ground, dig down 5 layers, and once we have that, as you guys can see, we're not going to be building directly below the opening because of course we're sticking the blocks to the side of the slime blocks, so it needs to be 1 block off in whichever direction you want to build it. And in my case, I'm building it towards this direction because I want the slime blocks to be hidden on the inside of our wall. So hopefully I explained that properly, but if I didn't, I will show you after it's built. Alright, what we need to do is place down 3 sticky pistons just like that, and 3 on this side, and then grab ourselves some slime blocks, and then place these slime blocks right on top of our sticky pistons, and then the one that is right next to the opening, we place down 3 more on top, to extend it to the very top, just like that. So as you can see, it's now 4 in total. 1, 2, 3, and then 4. And now we need to go ahead and grab ourselves some obsidian blocks. Place down 2 over here. You could place down 3 regular blocks over here if you so choose. Then 2 obsidian blocks right over there. And then grab ourselves some more blocks of our choice and then connect this up together just like that. Grab ourselves some redstone repeaters, place one down over here, there, and there. Place down redstone dust here and there, and then connect this all up using redstone dust. Set this one to 4 ticks, set this to 2 ticks, 2 ticks, and 4. We grab ourselves a lever, and this, when activated, should go all the way up in the air. Now, if it doesn't, that means our slime blocks is touching something it should not be touching. So let's just go ahead and come up over here and destroy this block to this side, this side, this side, that side, and pretty much anywhere that the slime block is touching, because as you guys know, you can't have any blocks touching our slime blocks for it to move. So I'm just going to replace all of this with obsidian. There we go, and let's just go ahead and try this out another time. Let's just come around here, flick that button. As you guys can see, this one goes up, but for some reason this one doesn't go up because I guess this one is not replaced. There we go. Let's bring that back down, try it again, and voila. Now these blocks are touching the top, so what I'm going to do is replace that, and then replace this one, and then replace that one, and it should all work perfectly fine now. So let's just go ahead and try that out. Alright, boom, there we go. So we don't actually need that one. And the next thing we need to do is grab ourselves some blocks, place it on the face of the sticky piston, just like that, and this will send it up into our door. Alright, so there we go. It sends it up into the door, and wow, it isn't built tall enough. What the heck? Alright, so let's see. What's wrong here? You know what? Maybe I could just drop the floor 1 lower, but for some reason, it only extends up 2 blocks. That's a bit weird, but I guess we can just build this down 1. It's not a big deal. There we go. And we have a really small door. Alright, so I guess we do need a secret passage, but as you guys can see, it does work quite well. If we go ahead and just flick that, it kind of sends it into the ground. Alright, so that's not bad. We can now go ahead and add in our armor cases, which I already dug out an area for, and we'll get back to this a bit later with all the decoration. I was just showing you guys how to do all of the redstone. So now it is time to build our armor cases. I dug out 6 different holes in the wall for armor cases, and we're also going to add in a passcode lock to this because we don't want anyone getting in and stealing our precious armor. Now to do this, we want to go ahead and just destroy 2 blocks over here, build 1 sticky piston in the roof, and then place down a glass on the face of that. When it is extended, the glass will reach right over here, creating a nice seal for our armor case. Now to do this for the floor, we would have to get rid of all that water, dig down 2 blocks, place down a sticky piston in the ground, and then a glass right over there. When that extends, it will be over here, yet again adding in a seal for our armor stands. Alright, so we do the same thing to all of these, so let's just go ahead and do that really quick. Dig down 2 blocks over here, 2 over there, 2 over here, and as you guys can see, the elevator is located there, so I actually need to do this manually. Alright, so there we go. Just build down 2 blocks, and then we need to come around here and then dig up 2. Place down our sticky piston just like that. Grab some glass. Place our glass right over there. Our sticky piston facing up, our glass over there. Sticky piston facing up, 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 glass, and then glass, glass. Sticky piston and the roof. So there we go. I added in all of the sticky pistons and glass. We now no longer need those blocks. But what I did just notice is that I only have 5, not 6, because I guess that's all that apparently fits. But anyways, let's go ahead and build out one first, and then we could add up our systems to the rest, because we do need to add in the passcode to just one of these systems. Alright, so to do this, we basically just dig out an area right over here. It doesn't matter how big it is. We just dig it out, and the first thing we need to do is actually come over here and then go 1 block right of our sticky piston and one block back. Grab ourselves a redstone torch, place it in this hole on the face of this block, and then place down a dropper facing up on this side, and then another dropper facing up right on top of that. And then this is left of our sticky piston. Grab ourselves a hopper, and then place a hopper going into that dropper by shift and clicking on it. Extend it by 1, and then extend it up like that. This is going to be the input for our passcode. The next thing we want to do is place down a redstone comparator just like that, and then place down a block right in front of that redstone comparator if we can. So let's just go ahead and place that. Oh gosh, wow, almost fell to my death. Alright, so there we go. I placed it right in front of our redstone comparator. It's going to grab a signal, send it to this block, and then it's going to go into the ground, into this block, inverting that torch. And now we need to place down 3 bits of redstone dust right over here, and then place down a redstone repeater going into our dropper. So that's going to be our passcode lock inputs, and then now we can connect this up to all of our different armor cases. So to do this, we basically need to destroy 2 blocks over here, or just destroy this entire layer. So there we go. I dug out a lot of area behind our pistons to give us a bit of room to work. Now, like I said, we dig out 2 blocks behind our dropper. Now we need to place down a redstone comparator coming out of our dropper, going into a block with a redstone torch on the face of that. It should activate that piston. And we place down 2 bits of redstone dust here, 1 on the ground, 1 staircasing up. Then we place down another block right over here, place down a bit of redstone dust there, place down a block right over there, grab ourselves a slab, and then place it right over there, as you guys can see. Then place down a block on that glass, staircase it down. It should connect up with this stone slab. Then we place down 3 bits of redstone dust. It should activate the top piston. Now we basically do this for all of the other pistons. And to do this on this side, we would just place down our torch on the face of this block and repeat that process. And to do it over here, we simply have our redstone going into a block like that, and a repeater coming out of that block taking a signal. And you do the same thing for this one and then that one as well. So there we go. That is all of our redstone now connected to our pistons. As you guys can see, it is now time to configure our passcode. Now to do this, we need some paper as well as some blocks. Now we need 4 blocks to be exact, so let's just go ahead and grab 4 redstone blocks as well as an anvil. And our anvil is in our decoration menu, so let's just grab that. There we go. We need to place down our anvil, place down 4 blocks of our choice, it doesn't matter what it is, and then rename this to a random character. So it's basically going to be an unguessable name so no one can cheat the system. The next thing we need to do is place down 18 pieces of paper into our anvil. So let's just go ahead and do that. That is 12. And now we have 18, and this is going to be the name for our passcode. So the passcode I want to put is suit1. That's going to be our passcode to open up all of our, armor cases. So let's just go ahead and grab that. Then what we need to do is come over here to this hopper that's on top of our redstone torch, place down our blocks just like that, and then place down our 18 pieces of paper with the name suit1, and then you could grab a copy of that in order to open that up. But that is basically our system. Now we go ahead and drop down our paper, and boom, our things should open. As you guys can see, that is basically going to be our armor stand thing. And now we can go ahead and place down a block right on top of there, grab ourselves a button, and then when we click this button, it pops out the paper and closes all of our armor cases. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is just fill up the area to show you guys how this would work. Let's just go ahead and quickly do that. There we go. I'm just going to just quickly do this like I mentioned. That way it's not going to be too detailed, but you guys will get to see how it works. Alright, so let's just build up that. There we go. Alright, so good enough. So there we go, I added in my armor stands into the cases. Now let's go ahead and close them and see how they work. Boom, there we go guys, 4 of them is working, and for some reason this one fell into the ground. But that's how it's supposed to work on this side, and it looks pretty good. And then we can just drop down our passcode yet again. And now we can access our armor and use it to go out into the darkness or to experiment in our lab. Anyways, guys, that's basically going to wrap up today's episode of our Let's Build series. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I spent a really long time recording this video, so hopefully you did. I know we did do a lot of redstone and a bit of decoration, but tell me if you guys have any tips that you would like to see in future episodes, and I will try to implement that into the videos. Anyways, guys, this was Twiistz. I thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.